DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for maybe, possibly, could be Wedding Chat with Jeremy Brech and Dave Ternier.
Hey, you never know what's going to come out during these shows. I am Jeremy Brech. I am DJ Jer out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And you've probably seen me in the Disc Jockey News as well as DJ Jer Shop Time. And, I don't know if Dave, I don't know how many people know this, but there is a YouTube channel out there. Tons of information. I think there's 140 videos now.
No, Shop Time?
Yeah. And I don't even realize that I have that much education, or maybe I just make stuff up like we do in this show. Who are you, Dave?
I'm king at making stuff up too. And if you really want to waste your time, just go ahead and read the 80 plus blog posts I've written, because true waste of time.
Yeah, no kidding. Holy smokes.
I'm Dave Ternier. I think we've got lots of regular viewers now, but yeah, for those who are just joining us, I'm Dave Ternier, author of DJThought.com. Live up here in Manitoba, Canada, a few hours north of Jeremy, who's in South Dakota.
South Dakota. I am the south part of the Dakotas.
A state that I have yet to get to.
What is your? Oh, you will. What is your temperature up there right now?
This morning it was like 15 degrees below freezing.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
Cold.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning it was only like -4 out and 4 degrees below freezing.
Yeah.
I said to Hannah, our Australian exchange student that's living with us right now, this morning feels nice, doesn't it? She kind of looks at me sideways. But yeah, no, it's been not a bad winter so far.
Well, you can keep your cold air because we don't want it. You guys keep sending it our way. It is not what we're looking for. Keep your geese. We don't want your geese either.
Canada geese.
Canadian geese. Man, they make a mess. Anyways, that's not why we're here. Happy Thanksgiving tomorrow to all of those in the U.S.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to all those in the U.S. and to my brethren in Canada. That was last month for us.
Oh, well, happy Thanksgiving last month, Canada. So I don't know. Do you guys have the whole Black Friday thing like we do here in the U.S.?
Oh, well,
Or do you guys ever get in the black?
Y'all are really good at exporting your ideas. Black Friday's become a thing up here, because of the influence from the United States for sure. Cyber Monday, of course, I think is a kind of a worldwide thing now.
Oh, yeah,
in fact, chatting with Hannah, our Australian exchange student, she said that her mom's going to be buying some things online for her down in Australia. So I think Cyber Mondays maybe become pretty global. But yeah, It's not the same Black Friday that you guys have, though. I mean, Canadians from here travel down across the border to hit your Black Friday. That's
Wow. I didn't know that.
oh yeah, yeah.
You know, the crazy thing with Black Friday is, I mean, Thanksgiving basically becomes Black Friday Eve is what it comes down to. People actually celebrate Thanksgiving anymore. And so here's the crazy thing. When I was like 16, 17, I would wake up at 2 a.m. to go sit outside Best Buy.
What?
Oh yeah, it's freezing cold out. Yeah, I was a high school kid, and I'm like, well, heck, if I can get DVDs that cheap, and I can get computers and laptops that cheap, and TVs, he's like, heck, I'm going to sit out there, and I did, and everybody laughed at me. They're like, you are ridiculous. Why would you go sit outside? I'm one of those people. I like a good deal. I love to find a good deal, and I think it kind of grew on my sisters, because now my sisters are like, oh, wow, we're going out the night before, or we're going out at 6:00 on Thanksgiving night to go shopping for Black Friday. I mean, it's like Black Friday is crazy around here. And then, I mean, you talked about Cyber Monday. I think a lot of people are understanding that a lot of this stuff is done online now. You look at Walmart, they are geniuses. They used to have their store open so people could actually go into their store. They didn't have to wait out in the cold, and you could wait in line to buy something at Walmart. Well, now they're like, you know what? Don't even worry about coming into our store. Just jump online, go buy all those Black Friday specials on Thanksgiving Day. Never leave your seat. And I guarantee they're just making a killing. Walmart, again, has it figured out. And Cyber Monday, like you said, to me is such a huge thing. It's come a long way to what people used to do. And that was sit outside. I mean, they're like, I'm going to wait for Monday. I'm going to get my deals on that.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Hey, since we're talking, since we are talking Black Friday deals, all that type of stuff, can we do a quick shout out? I have noticed that a number of friends of ours have educational content out there, and a bunch of them are doing deals right now. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but for those who are wondering, Randy, it's 1% Solution. He's got a bunch of deals on right now. Who else is there? The Marquee Show. I think they've got a deal on their Expo Pass through this weekend. Who else?
That's actually one of the things that I kind of want to talk about is, again, like you said, it's not as big of a thing up there in Canada. Black Friday is huge here in the US, it seems like. And, we within our company, we do Black Friday specials, but it's specific to our brides. We don't do Black Friday specials to people outside of who we're already working with. So we'll have, additional lighting option sales. We'll have like sales. And it's just a good way to kind of vamp up as we go into a slow season, kind of try to get that money before the holiday. Because they're like, I mean, if you sell it to them now, then they're like, oh yeah, great, I've got this reserved. But if you do it after Christmas or during Christmas, they're like, well, crap, I spent all my money on gifts. I can't, So it's a good way for us to, it's a good way for us to kind of hit them up before they get into the holiday season. And like I said, we just focus on, and I think we mentioned that, or I mentioned this before, we don't discount our services as DJs, as a service of what we provide. And I actually had a phone conversation. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of the talking, but I want to hear your feedback on this. I had a phone conversation with a bride and groom 2 days ago where we basically did a consultation over the phone. And, I said, do you have any other questions? Anything else I can help you with? And the groom asked the question. He said, if we find a better deal, will you match their price, or will you, will you lower your price if, we want to go with that specific package?
Right.
I just said no, because we as a company still have to function the same way. I still have to pay my guys. My guys aren't going to take a pay cut. They've earned it.
Yeah.
And I almost kind of sounded I almost kind of sounded like a jerk, but I really needed him to understand.
Par for the course.
Well, I needed him to understand that, you know, this is a professional service. This
Right.
is our way of life. This is how we live. This is how we make our this is how we put food on the table.
Yeah.
And you know, I said, and I answered him. I said, that's a great question, but here's why we don't. And I kind of laid it all out for him. And he said, that makes perfect sense. I appreciate your honesty.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
what do you do in those situations?
Real quick before we forget, shout out to Ron Ruth has also got a deal on Living Motion Monograms. Michael Anderson.
But all these people just like message you like, hey, don't forget about mine.
Mike Walter, he's got a deal on if you buy any of his DVDs. And Mitch has got a deal going on too. So there we go. I'm done.
Were you just on like the Black Friday special website or what? Right next to the Menards and Best Buy ad, you have the DJ.
Listen, you know what? I may be a Canadian, but I know what's going on. All right.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Anyway, shout out to all those people. They've all been part of my success as well. So,
and this show is having a Black Friday special as well. We're giving it to you at no cost.
Wow. And for those waiting, by the way, I'm going to do my free, my draw for my Mobile Beat Pass. The contest is closed now, but djthought.com had a free Mobile Beat Pass going on. And thank you to all the people that entered. There was some great entries.
You're going to do it on this show?
I can't do it on the show. I don't have the entries sitting right here.
Oh.
That would have been slick. Oh, Jerry should have thought. Anyway.
Geez, so much for thinking ahead of time.
No kidding. So speaking of people that have deals on today, many of them are people that have taught you and I things. Would you might even consider many of those people mentors?
Yeah. Oh gosh. I think most of the people that you mentioned that have sales and specials, I see all of them as mentors.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, like, even people that don't have DVDs or they don't have specific things, there are amazing mentors out there. I had Matt Radicelli as a business coach for a year. And I mean, if you really want to rock your world in this business, he's a great mentor. He's a great coach, does a phenomenal job of, working with you specifically in where your business is at and where you want it to go. So, Matt was an amazing coach for me. I think we talk about Mike Walter pretty much every show. It seems like Joe Bunn is another one. His Marketing the Music, I actually just started watching that one again. I didn't, it seems like every time you watch something, you learn something new. And I think that happens with every training that we do. We look at Mark Farrell. When we take an MC class, it's like, gosh, we're doing the same thing, but we're learning progressively different. We're always like grasping this and taking that. Whoops. And I think we're always building and we're always learning. And I think that's a huge thing in this industry.
So how have you run across most of your mentors? What are the positions that you put yourself in, or the places you went to, or the people you met at the conversations you had? How did you find mentors? Like if somebody's watching here tonight going, you know what, I need a mentor or two. Can one just go out and hire them, find them, buy them? I mean, obviously I've got some experience as well on that. So what's your answer to that?
That's a great question. I think it's all about network. And the reason I say that is because that's how I met all of my mentors. It all started back in Mobile Beat, I want to say 2011. I was at the Wed Guild. It was the Wed
Open
Guild
House.
What's that?
Wed Guild Open House.
Yeah, the Wed Guild Open House. Absolutely.
I was there too. Yeah.
And I was actually in the back of the room, and I went over to the table where they were selling things. And Mitch Taylor could tell you this story, or he's probably told. I think he talked about it at Midwest DJs Live last year.
Okay.
He was over back by the sales table, and I walk over and I pick up his DVD and I'm looking at this thing, or it's a CD. I'm sorry, it's a CD. I'm looking at this and I'm like, sales from A to Z. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And he leans over the table and he's like, it's $15. As if I was like ready to run away with this thing. Like, yeah, I don't know if he thought I was going to steal this CD or what, But like, okay. So I grabbed $15. I paid him, and I kept the CD. I didn't talk to Mitch after that, but I went home. I listened to this CD. I put it in my car. Every time I was in my car, I listened to this over and over and over. And I'm like, man, this guy really knows what he's talking about. This guy is a sales genius. And so I reached out to him because, as you know, in the Wed Guild application, you had to find a mentor that would kind of walk you through the process and help you along. Right. And so I reached out to him and I said, Mitch, I know you don't know who I am. And he's like, yeah, I really don't have time for you. No, he didn't say that. But it felt like that. No. So he reached out, or I reached out to him and I said, Mitch, I really appreciate your CD. I love it. I think it's really allowed me to capitalize more on my sales. I was doing sales so wrong before that. And I said, where else can I learn? How can I become better? How can I get to a Wed Guild status, or how can I go through that process? And he said, well, you know what? You're in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. He said, my friend Bill Herman actually has a workshop going on. I'm like, workshop? What the hell's a workshop? I had no idea that DJs had workshops. And maybe this wasn't 2011. Maybe this was earlier. I can't remember. Anyways, so he's like, you have to go check out this workshop. He's like, it's not cheap. And I'm thinking, okay, great. How expensive is this thing? $500? Like, no, it's like $2,000-$3,000. I'm like, okay, this thing better be legit. He told me I should go to this. I'm going to give it a shot. And it was the first ever entertainment experience workshop.
Oh, really?
With him and Jason Jones. Yep.
Oh, wow.
And so, like I said, Mitch really still didn't even know me. The only thing knew Mitch of me was phone calls going back and forth. And so I would say my first mentor was Mitch Taylor. And I still feel that he is one of my biggest, I know he's my biggest influence in who I am as a company today. And I owe him so much.
I'm sure he accepts e-transfers or checks or whatever you want. So
I don't know him that much. So we're in the entertainment experience workshop, and John Young was there with Jockey News, and he had the Disc Jockey News paper. And I'm like, there's a newspaper? Again, this was like such an eye-opening experience for me. Like I was going to say something that I probably shouldn't. So anyway, so we're in this workshop, and like the first 3 hours of this workshop, I'm just like my mind's blown. Like, I could stop right now and I would be happy with the investment that I've made. That's all I needed.
Okay.
Still a one-day workshop. It wasn't a 2-day workshop yet.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
It was a Sunday. It was a Sunday. Me and my family went up there. I don't even know what I did with my family, but so I'm in the workshop and getting to know Mitch a little bit more. And, Mitch had some of his friends and colleagues that he's known for a while. And again, I'm still pretty new to Mitch. Mitch doesn't know who I am. He doesn't really know that much about me. And so I started trying to build that relationship with Mitch. And like I said, I mean, our relationship has gone so far. It's gone such a long way. And I'm so blessed to have met Mitch, because he pointed me in the direction of the entertainment experience. Well, he gave me that newspaper from the Disc Jockey News, and there was an ad for Mark Farrell's workshops. And I'm like,
that's how you found out about them?
Yeah.
I had no idea. This is fascinating. But for anybody watching, by the way, you're having as much fun as I am right now, because I've never heard any of this. Carry on.
So I'm looking at this newspaper ad. I'm like, okay, well, I'm interested. Mitch told me, he said, you got to check out Entertainment Experience. I did. I love it. He tells me I need to go check out Mark Farrell. Okay, hold on. I shouldn't say that. I didn't realize Mark had the certain workshops that he did. I knew about Getting What You Were Worth. I knew about that. But the workshops and everything I wasn't aware of, because again, I didn't realize that the Entertainment Experience, that workshops existed until Mitch had that conversation with me. So I started building that. And this is where I go back to, it's all about a network. It's all about finding one mentor who can connect you with multiple networks of mentors. So I connected with Mitch, who connected me with Bill Herman, who connected me with Mark Farrell, who connected me with And Bill connected me with Peter Mary and connected me with this person and that person and this person. And next thing you know, I'm shaking hands and rubbing elbows with some of the best mentors in this industry. I feel like there's so many of those mentors that I can actually call friends now.
Yeah.
And before, when you're this DJ who's new to all of this, it's very intimidating to go up to Randy Bartlett when he weighed 200 pounds more than what he does right now and have a conversation, and his size wasn't intimidating, but him as a person, as a presenter, he's such a good presenter. He's such a great influence of our industry. It's intimidating.
Yeah.
And I think, again, I built so many great relationships over the past couple of years that it's all about that network. You have to find one person who's going to allow you to connect with so many other people.
And what's remarkable is that one person, it only took one person for this network to explode for you. That's what's maybe most fascinating about this to me.
Yeah. And I think so many people have given me such opportunities. I look at a couple instances. I've had the opportunity to work with Wedding Wire. I've had an opportunity to work with the Wedding MBA. Thanks to Bill Herman, I got to be involved in the first 3 revolutions, or revolutions, I should say. Well, it could have been revolutions of Mobile Beat. I got to be a part of when him and Jason Jones took over that and really created something different and unique. And to be a part of that was such a thrill. And again, I wouldn't have had that opportunity if I wouldn't have connected with Bill Herman. You know what? We should actually. You think Bill Herman's watching?
He should be, if he knows what's good for him. I mean, this is quality content. I mean,
you're right. You better be listening.
Bill, you should jump on if you're watching.
Send him the link. See if he can jump on here. Because I think you and I both have really learned a lot from Bill Herman. And what I would love to do is actually ask him what he feels it takes to be a mentor, what it takes to find a mentor, and just kind of get some feedback from him. What do you think?
If he's around, Bill, if you're watching, jump on. You mentioned network a number of times, and I think that's absolutely key. Absolutely key. I just my most recent blog post on Sunday was Find Your Brian. Shout out to Brian Pudwerney, whose name is in that blog post title. And I won't speak about that blog post specifically, but to find that person, the end result is the same thing as this. To find mentors, I put myself out there to as many networking nights, to as many conferences, to as many workshops as possible. And that's essentially how you found one mentor, which then led to all these other mentors.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jared, do you think, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here because both you and I publish online content and, this is online content as well, but can you find mentors without attending and meeting them in person and really getting to know who they are?
I already knew you were going to ask that question. And I would say absolutely not. Okay, hold on. Let me rephrase that. I think you can find them, but I don't think you can make a connection with them. It's like when you can meet with the bride and groom as opposed to being on a conversation over the phone with the bride and groom, you can connect and create a relationship so much more than can actually be in person with that individual. And like I said, Mitch, all I was to Mitch Taylor for months upon months was a person on the other side of the phone. But I actually got to meet with him. We got to know each other. I mean, we built such a strong relationship. And that it takes to actually find a mentor. You can have someone to learn from. You can find them online. But to actually have them as a mentor, it takes so much more than that. There's a lot of personality that goes into it. There's a lot of personalization. And I think it takes a lot of time to get to know each other. And I don't think that's something that can be done just over the web, Facebook, those type of things. I don't think that's possible. Right.
Right.
It's like, let me talk about one more thing. Mm-hmm. When you look at when you look at Randy Bartlett's 1% solution, he does, even Mike Walter. I just noticed that Mike Walter was down at LaForce in Dallas, and you can watch their DVDs and you can learn, but to actually experience them live and have them come to your location, or to watch Randy's DVD, but then take his microphones or his mic techniques workshop, is a whole different thing.
Right. Very true. Very true.
Look who we have.
Bill.
This better be good, I'm telling you. Yeah.
Don, you are a
all
miracle.
disheveled. Looks like I just rolled out of bed.
Well, it's about time you watch our show.
I watch your show.
Really? What was the last one about?
I got about 10 minutes in. It puts me right to sleep. It's awesome. It's
outstanding.
It's when I want to get it's better than an Ambien.
So a lot of you that have watched our show, you've probably heard us talk about Bill Herman in the past. And
apologies.
We're talking about mentors, and you happen to come up.
Sorry, I'm doing a product placement.
But Bill Herman he's the co-founder of the Entertainment Experience, and I believe you're the sole engine behind the Entertainment Experience now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you just got done with the Entertainment Experience last week.
Yes, we had our I wonder if I can count how many years I've been doing this now. At least 7. 148 people who have graduated the class. And it was just finished up a week from today, actually.
Yeah. Got it. And you have and just to talk about the results of what you do in your workshop, or just any workshop in general, you have a money back guarantee that if you do not like what you see, or maybe you don't, maybe everyone's going to be asking for their money back now.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah. How do I get my money back? You have a money back guarantee that if you don't feel that this workshop was worth it, then I will reimburse you whatever you feel is fair and make it right for you. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
How many people have ever asked you for all their money back? None. Exactly. And that's what I want to point out is workshops. To me, we're talking about mentors, and a lot of our great mentors in this industry have workshops. And we were talking about, can you really connect with a mentor if you're just watching them online, or if you're just watching their YouTube videos or their YouTube channels? And my answer was no. I think it's that personal connection that allows them to be a mentor, because everybody is different and you can't use the same content for every single person.
Correct. Well, a workshop is a different thing. That's all. It's, a workshop comes at a person from where that person is, and works with them around what they're hoping to create, or what they're hoping to do with their business or their life. Can you connect with people online? I think so. I mean, you can connect with an author of a book, or with an actor in a movie. That's how entertainment works. That's how people that are charismatic can do that. And can you connect on a personal level? I suppose it also depends on what you describe as a personal level.
Yeah.
And how you connect, and if you connect. Honestly, the biggest reason that I have a money back guarantee on my workshop is really to keep me where I need to be.
Yeah.
I expect that anyone who comes and is a part of this, they really want something. I mean, they really care to get something. And I can just show up and say, well, this is what I have. And, if it works for you, that's all good. But if I put a guarantee like that on it, then I need to come at it from what they're hoping to get, and for what they're expecting to get. And like my business, I mean, I do the same thing with my business. Anything that I sell, any service that I give, I expect that they're buying not the fact that I'm showing up, or not the fact that I'm going to say a thing a certain way, but that I'm going to have an impact on them. I have an impact at a wedding. they want a specific impact. So I have to spend some time getting to know them and knowing what they want from an impact. Every one of the students that have taken my class, I have a personal conversation with well before they buy it, for that reason right there. And then once I say, well, okay, well, if it ain't what you need, then don't pay me. Well, that's what I would want. Right. I came to get something. Now, I know not everybody does that, and that's okay. And it's not. I'm not pointing fingers at any workshops that I know about or classes that I know about. I mean, there's lots of classes. I've taken classes online that I got things out of. I took a copywriting class online from Steve Martin. Okay. Did I have a money back guarantee from that? No. Did it cost me only $100? Yeah.
Exactly.
But I got to listen to and try to connect with. Now, if he and I were in the same room, would I have had a better connection? Would I have felt as though he had mentored me? Maybe.
Yeah.
Mentor is a different thing than a teacher, though. And a mentor is a different thing than a workshop.
Well, and I mean, my take on the question, I think because of technology, much like, the software that's powering part of how we're doing this, that you can connect online with people in ways that you couldn't before. I mean, I remember back a couple of years ago having conversations with, DJs who worked in markets where they were primarily a destination wedding market. And they would always say to me, Dave, I can't do the type of work that you do because I don't meet my couples until, a couple days before their wedding. There's no way I can have the connection with the couples that you do, and so on and so forth. And I was kind of like, yeah, you're right. And then a couple of years ago, I had a couple who booked me to travel a ridiculous distance for their wedding. And because of that, I didn't meet them until the Tuesday before their wedding, but we did meetings like this. And the connection that we had the day we met was as authentic as if we'd known each other forever. It was remarkable.
Right. Well, and that connection,
and that changed everything for me.
I would challenge that, without video, it's still possible. The kind of connection with another person is a subjective thing.
It is. When it comes to mentors, Bill, how do you suggest people go about finding mentors? I mean, Jeremy shared, as I'm sure you heard every minute of because you were listening.
As you were watching.
Oh yeah, I wasn't upstairs in my family room with my kids, and I was listening to every.
I'm glad that you at least put a shirt on. I know you have no pants on, but
Jeremy shared, the remarkable chain of events that, tragically led him to taking the entertainment experience. And, but it was the path that led him to all these mentors that he knows. Right. And I guess you could argue that happened to Jeremy slightly by chance. He happened to be in a certain place in Vegas at a certain time. He bought a thing from Mitch, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. My blog post this past weekend, I referenced that Brian and I met by chance, and then we formed this relationship that caused us to race and chase and motivate each other. But if somebody's like, I don't want to leave this to chance, I don't want to leave a mentor to chance, what things can they do to stack the odds in their favor that they're going to find someone that can be this for them, which might then lead to many, many more mentors?
Well, the more people you meet, first of all, there's a thing about the entertainment business when it comes to actors and performers. Mm-hmm. Most of them are introverted people. Believe it or not, I'm kind of an introverted person, and I bring my extroversion out on stage, and I bring it out around people that I feel comfortable around. And I became an extrovert to be able to be on stage. You know what I mean? I bring that out. Put me in a party where somebody else is DJing and somebody else's wedding, and I'm quiet. I'm over by the wall. That's just the way I am, and I think most guys are like that. So there's a couple of things to think about. Number one, we've all heard that you become, you should surround yourself with people that you want to be like, or people that you see as larger than you, or things that you'd like to see. Surround yourself with the people that you want to be like, because you're going to be that's a fact that if you spend time around extraordinary people, you're going to take on extraordinary things. And
it's kind of like what they say, surround yourself with positivity if you want to be positive. If you want to be negative, surround yourself with the negativity.
Right. But you also have to create that. You surround yourself with those people. That's great. But you also have to create it yourself. You need to specifically decide that I'm going to be positive, so I'm going to look for positive people, because a room full of positive people doesn't always mean they're always going to be positive. And just because you're around them doesn't necessarily mean it's going to rub off. You've got a better chance of it, like Dave was saying. A better chance of it is important. Now you surround yourself with people that you want to be like, people that you admire, and then as you are around those people, you can start to reach out. I mean, I've reached out to people that I wanted to see as a mentor, but you don't walk up to and say, "Hi, my name is, and I think you're awesome. Would you be my mentor?" You can, if they've got a mentor program where you pay them a certain amount of money to stand with you and be your mentor. You know, when you want to connect with somebody, you need to be a good listener, a person who's unafraid to reach out to other human beings, and to be unafraid to be vulnerable with that person. Because I can't, like, if I mentor somebody, that's really weird to say. I know that I have, but I don't know that I've like decided one day, it's like, oh, you're a good kid, I'm going to mentor you. I've never done that. And I know there's lots of people out there that call me a mentor or call me their mentor, but that's never been the case for me. It's always been, we connected on some level, and they reached out to me, and I was friends and cared about them, and they cared about me. And there was ways that I'd be able to help them in their career. I've never really, it's really odd to think of myself as a mentor, because I couldn't give you a list of the people that I've mentored.
Well, and I think that's the powerful part of this whole conversation, Bill, is you have affected so many people. And I don't think you really understand how many people you have touched, how many people you have made
Wait a minute. I just for the record, I don't touch people inappropriately or without being asked. That should just be something to be out on the record before Jeremy gets
let's stay focused here, Bill. Stay focused. But here's my main question that I have for you. Let's first talk about inside the industry. Who would you say has been your biggest influence, or who has been your mentor? And a word from Mountain Dew.
Industry. There have been several. You want to? First was Dusty Weatherford, the first DJ that I ever met at a radio station in WBNZ in Frankfort, Michigan. Who is, God rest his soul, he's no longer with us. He was the first. The second, around that same time, was the program director at that radio station, Mr. Mike Bradford. Those people had a huge impact on who I was and what I wanted to be. And then, it was acting teachers. Within the industry, though, the next really big industry mentor for me became Mark Farrell. And Mark will probably say the same thing, that he didn't take me on to mentor me. I reached out to him because I admired him. And I called him up. I mean, I met him when I saw him speak for the first time, and was just blown away. And wasn't sure how to talk to him. But I took it upon myself to find him, to find his telephone number, to call him at his home and say, I know you don't remember me, but I'd like to thank you for blah, 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 blah. And we had a conversation about him. And then we just became friendly. And then I said, well, would you mind if I called you every once in a while? Because, I think, I'd like to learn from you. And he said, yeah, no problem. But it wasn't that he had decided to mentor me. And he had probably.
No, you decided for him.
Well, but I
think that's honestly how it. I think that's honestly how it happens, though, a lot of the time.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, he could have said no. He could have said, "Yeah, kid, nice." Yeah. Lots of people do that. A lot. I've met actors that I thought I wanted to spend time around and learn their process, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't, kid, I don't
have time for you, Billy."
Right. That's just the way it is. I took it upon myself to put myself in a situation, to put myself in front of somebody that I wanted to learn from. I wanted to be like. I admired him and what he had created, and I wanted to see what that was about. And what I got to learn from him was that it wasn't about, like Mark always says, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And for me, it became about this point of view. For me, it became about looking at my life and my world in a different way. And I think great mentors do that for you. Great mentors don't say, here's how you do it. Great mentors show you what you do from a new perspective so that you can begin to explore who you are and what you do from that perspective so that you can actually build something for yourself, as opposed to what I wanted when I met him was, I want to know exactly what you do. Let me write it down. I even told him at one point, I could probably double the amount of people that you give this message to with getting what you're worth, because I know that script now. And if you sent me out to the other side of the country, I could do getting what you're worth over there. And you could, literally, that's what I thought I was trying to get myself in.
Right.
And
so
he was the first one to say, it doesn't matter about that stuff, kid. It doesn't. Where's your heart?
Yeah.
What are you doing and why are you doing it? And then it will emerge for you. That's one of the first things he taught me.
So surround yourself with people, get out, meet people, create as large a circle of people around you as you can, and then start to surround yourself closer with the people that you want to not be like. That's not the right word.
What you admire,
influence you.
Yeah. The whole idea of, like you mentioned earlier, you want to become a millionaire, surround yourself with millionaires. You are an average of the 5 people you most closely associate yourself with. All of those types of things.
That was great. Thank you, Mr. Ferriss.
Yes. Love Tim Ferriss. Now there's a mentor. He doesn't know it, but he's a mentor.
Bill, so I'm curious, outside of the industry, maybe not who's been a mentor, who's kind of inspired you, but who would you like to mentor you? Who would you want to be? Who would you want to learn from? And the reason I'm asking that is because
I know Oprah, and I'm going to introduce you.
No, I think people kind of get stuck in this shell that, well, I can only learn from this group of people, or I can only learn from this round of individuals. So, who do you want to learn from?
I haven't gone specifically looking for a mentor since Mark. Now what I do is I like to connect with people, period. And I'm one-on-one.
Yeah.
So I spend time getting to know people and then learning who they are and what's important to them, and then listening. And hopefully I find someone who has a new point of view. If mentor is the thing I'm looking for right now, I'm just, I look for people that I can connect with. One of the tricky parts about being me right now is everybody, I've got a lot of people that look up to me as this thing, and I don't have that many people that I do that with, because I've kind of become this thing for other people, which is, I know that sounds weird, but
no,
it's just like they put me up here, and then like, well, who the hell's up here with me? This place you put me on. So now it's, I love meeting people outside of my industry that are passionate about what they do. Okay. Now, passion really touches me and moves me. Okay. So passionate about printing, or passionate about lawn care, and their passionate ways of being of service to other people, or service to themselves or their family, that really jazzes me. And I get that from people on a regular basis. Now, if I could choose, if I could say tomorrow, I'm going to point to a person and say, you will be my mentor and I will connect with you because I've decided so. I put myself, because I'm a performer, I want to be like the performers that I've always admired. I want to be like Jack Nicholson. I want to be like Johnny Carson, Steve Martin, David Letterman, Stephen Colbert. These people, and there's a million list of people that I admire in the entertainment business. But that's like a conversation of, hello, my name is, and I like you, and would you mind teaching me? As opposed to, every day that I have lunch with a new person, I get to learn about their passion. And if I ask enough questions and I listen intently and I care to see what matters to them, then I get that from them. And each day I get something from them. Now, like I said, Mark was really impactful in a time in my life when I needed it. Huge impact on my life. Everyone that I meet, like I'm describing, still has an impact, and some of them an enormous impact. and others, maybe not so much. My father, he was probably, I'm sure he's had probably the most impact on my life, even when I didn't want him to.
Parents can do that, can't they?
Right. And then as I get older and I start to see things, and I can still reach out to him about a business that he doesn't know anything about. He really doesn't understand the entertainment business, even though I think he has a natural knack for it. But I can come home with him with an idea, and literally he just boils it down to what really matters about what I'm worried about, which has everything to do with what I'm going to be able to do in the entertainment business. And because he sees it from the point of view of the audience that I'm going to be serving.
Yeah.
Plus he's honest.
I want to highlight something you said in the last few minutes there, just for people so that they don't gloss over this part. One of the things, I think one of the characteristics you said was important for you when it comes to mentors, and I couldn't agree with this more, is that they have a new point of view in relation to your own.
That, and the fact that they should be, they should be unafraid to be brutally honest with you. You don't want to have a mentor who likes you so much. Oh, you're such a good kid. Oh, you could do it. That's not a mentor. I have lots of those. They're, hey, you could do it, Bill, and look, because they don't think they'll be good at it. They won't try a thing because they don't think they'll be good at it. As opposed to, that's exactly what you should try and be bad at it. Really suck at it. Even not because you want to learn Spanish, but because you need to learn what problem. As opposed to, you failed once. Now what didn't work? So what?
Okay, so let's throw them a bone, because John's just said we can take a few more minutes if we want. Let's throw these guys a bone.
John's not awesome. Bill doesn't shut up.
Well, I realize that.
Bad decision. Why did we pick him to be our first guest on this show?
What? Don't ask me a question.
Whoa.
The rest of my answers will be one word.
But I mean, we are an industry full of a lot of unique characters, but many of us ego-driven, which can play a healthy role in what we do for sure.
Yes.
We're hard. So let's throw these individuals who can't get over themselves a bone. This is how they're hardwired. How does one change that?
Those people aren't watching this show.
That's not true. Oh, sorry. That was 3 words.
No.
How do they do it? Okay.
Or
someone you admire. Okay. And get to know them on a personal level. Start to see their world from their point of view. If in fact you'd like them to mentor you, you could certainly ask. But then part of the conversation should be, don't ever tell me that what I'm doing is awesome, please. And not that I need to have you yell at me, but I'm really trying to look at this from your point of view. You're my mentor. I want to see it from your point of view. Not because I want to see how you do a thing, but what I'm doing from your point of view. I'm looking for that. Now, he may sit with you several times, and you may start seeing it from his point of view. And at some point, you might go, well, this is BS. Great. Pick another one. You're not going to connect with every person you try to connect with. Okay.
That's very true.
Get something out of everybody. You can learn something out of every human being that you're in front of. I've learned a lot about my performances from my teenage daughters. Okay. Because of the way they see it. And our job in front of an audience is a subjective job. And what we do is subjective to everyone except us. And when we spend our time pointing at, look at our thing and critiquing ourselves from our point of view, the entertainment's point of view, we're not getting anywhere. You need to start seeing what you're doing from your audience's point of view, from the people that you serve's point of view. And they don't know nothing about entertainment, except they do know they know what they like. It's like the old thing. I may not know much about art, but I know what I like. Well, if you want to sell art, you better know what your audience likes. Okay. If you want to show up being charming in front of every audience, then you better find out how every audience responds to you in every single way. Because not everybody responds to you the way you think they do. In fact, most of them don't. Mm-hmm. So what can you learn from people? If you listen, if you really listen, you'll learn a lot. You may not like what you hear, and you may not make a change, but.
So, since those people aren't watching the show anyway, there's a lot of people watching this show who are likely scared. Fear is probably what keeps them away from maybe having these conversations with these people, or going to somebody's workshop, or going to the conference. Fear from many different places, fear of the conversation they have to have with somebody at home that, hey, I want to go do this, fear of showing up and having to try to meet people at a conference, fear of going to a workshop and looking like a fool, like an idiot. Case in point, first Marbella workshop and every single workshop since then. How do we help people get over that fear? Because it's a very real thing. How
do we help them?
Yeah.
Encouragement. I mean, look, not anybody needs to learn from me. Not anybody. No one needs to learn from me. No one needs to go to a conference and learn anything. No one needs to take a workshop or a class or anything like that. And like you said, our ego drives us. Our ego is the reason why we got into it. You know, it's the ego or the need for acceptance even more that pushes people and pulls people into the entertainment business with a lot of, like I said, a bunch of introverts that need acceptance. Literally, the number one reason I got into it is because girls wouldn't talk to me. I was a nerd and I got beat up and nobody liked me. So how do I do something that's cool? And I picked DJing and it worked out somewhat, right? But it was that need for acceptance. So I forgot the question.
That's okay. We're way over time, but Bill, we can always have you come back. We'll just try to do it at the beginning so that way we don't.
not after tonight. No.
Okay. But Bill, what I want you to do is I want you to talk a little bit about, or actually maybe not talk about it, but just mention what is your, you have a YouTube video that goes out once a week.
Oh yeah. My little show, Creative License. It always shows up on Thursday. After about noon or 2, I forget, but around noon or 2 on Thursday, Central Time, on Thursdays.
And the next entertainment experience is going to be when?
The next one will be in Birmingham, Birmingham in the UK, just outside of London. It's going to be right after the Pro Mobile Conference at the Forest of Arden Marriott Hotel and Country Club. I'm reading my script right now. April 15th and 16th, and then the workshop will be the 17th and 18th. I'm going to be speaking at that conference. I've got two speeches I'm going to be doing there. And then the next one in the United States is the same. It's always the same time every year. It's the week before Thanksgiving in November in Minneapolis. And right now is when people could reach out and talk to me about whether or not they want to be a part of it. Some people do it because they want to pay a little bit of the money at a time. Some people just want to get it, but I only got 16 anyway. So the only thing I haven't done yet, Jeremy, is try to. You and I talked about me talking to some folks down in Florida and maybe setting something up in Florida, which still is a possibility. It's just not kind of worked itself out yet. So right now, I usually only do one, and it's in November, and it's in Minneapolis at the Electro Voice headquarters.
Well, I can tell you I've taken it twice and it is well worth the investment. I appreciate everything that you've done for me, for our company, for my team. And I do see you as a mentor, even though you don't realize it. It means a lot to what you've done for us. And I think Dave would agree with me. But Bill,
what Jeremy said.
Yeah, we can't thank you enough for being on tonight because again, you were our test puppy to make sure that this would actually work to bring somebody on, and who better than Bill Herman? So,
guys, Bill Herman test puppy.
I want to leave people with one final thought. We just got a comment on the YouTube feed from Marcus, who wrote, "OMG, I'm such an introvert." Blow up our inboxes, mine, Jeremy's, Bill's. If you can relate to being an introvert, and maybe, Bill, you just made me think of this, maybe this is why DJ spends so much money on gear. Because gear is safe and easy, and there's no fear associated with it whatsoever.
And when I was in it, the bigger it was, the easier it was to hide behind it. Really? I'm not kidding.
Nice.
It's the introversion and the need for acceptance that drives most entertainers. It's the truth.
Yeah, I think
it takes a while sometimes before they start to even be able to say it out loud.
Right. Well, and I guess that's what I'm doing right now. I'm inviting anybody watching, say that out loud to one of us, because most people are surprised by this, and I'm sure they're surprised to hear that you're an introvert too, Bill. But I am without question an introvert. The Dave Ternier that most people know is very much a learned thing. It's not default me. I mean, you ask my wife, I love just sitting quiet. I mean, a lot of DJs, right? They're noise on the way home. They're this, they're that. I'm like, no, give me silence.
Yeah.
Damn it, give me my space.
Yeah.
I want to talk. Let's have this as our conversation piece for next week. Let's have this as our John, write this down. Our title for next week is introvert. And that's it. And we're going to build off it. I think this is a really interesting discussion.
Imagining the show, a picture of you on the right and a picture of you on the left, and both of you going, yeah, right, yeah. No,
I really don't want to.
Not really. No, you talk. No, you talk. No, you say something. Not me.
Wait,
I got nothing. You go ahead.
Bill, you're way over your one word. Come on.
I am Jeremy Brech, DJ Jared of Sioux Falls. Everyone, thanks for watching. And Dave?
I'm Dave. DJ. No, I'm not DJ Dave. I was going to say DJ Jared. What the hell? I'm not DJ Jared. I'm just a guy. It's really cold. My brain doesn't work much anymore. This happens after listening to Bill.
And again, thank you, Bill, for being on the show. Everybody, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me.
Good night.